Hello again, everyone. It's so great to be with you. Here we are, the first week of Advent already. Our gospel this morning is from the 21st chapter of Luke. Jesus said, "There will be signs in the sun, the moon, the stars, and on the earth distress among nations, confused by the roaring of the sea and the waves. People will faint from fear and foreboding of what is coming upon the world, for the power of the heavens will be shaken. Then they will see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. Now when these things begin to take place, stand up and raise your heads, because your redemption is drawing near." Then he told them a parable. "Look at the fig tree and all the trees. As soon as they sprout leaves, you can see for yourselves. You know that summer is already near. So also when you see these things taking place, you know that the kingdom of God is near. Truly, I tell you, this generation will not pass away until all these things have taken place. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will not pass away. Be on guard so that your hearts are not weighed down with dissipation and drunkenness and the worries of this life, and that day does not catch you unexpectedly like a trap. For it will come upon all who live on the face of the whole earth. Be alert at all times, praying that you may have the strength to escape all these things that will take place and to stand before the Son of Man." The Gospel of the Lord. Praise to you, O Christ. Today I'd like to talk with you about the future. The first Sunday of Advent always focuses our attention on the future. It's a theme that runs through today's Gospel and the entire season of Advent. Many of you know that the word Advent comes from the Latin word meaning to come. So something or someone is coming to us in this season. We most often think of what's coming as Christmas and the birth of Jesus. And it is, but I also think it is bigger and more than that. In today's gospel, Jesus speaks of the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. I think that's a metaphor for the future. I've recently begun to think of Advent as the coming of our future and a time when we prepare as best we can, if we can, for that future. What comes up for you when you look towards or think about the future? We all have a future and we all deal with it in our lives. Some look towards the future with fear, anxiety, and worry. People will, Jesus says, faint from fear and foreboding of what is coming upon the world. When have you felt like that? Others look at the future with hope, eagerness, optimism. They stand up and raise their heads with anticipation and expectancy. When have you jumped out of bed ready to get the new day started and excited about the possibilities of what might be? I like to call it journey lit. Like when I'm going someplace on a trip and I'm so excited I can't sleep. I'm restless, keyed up. I want to get going. When have you been journey lit? Most of us, I suspect, live with both of those outlooks. Which predominates for you today? What is the future you dread? What is the future you want and anticipate? What parts of your life are fearful, and what parts are journey lit? Regardless of which it is, the force of the future is to prevent the present from closing in on us, from closing us up. Advent pries open the present by promising us the possibility of something new, the chance of something different, something that will transform the present into something else. I'm not talking about the foreseeable future, but the unforeseeable future. We all have both. Most nights, as we are winding down, Kelly or I will ask, "What's on the agenda tomorrow? What have you got going on?" Or we will talk about what we might want to do on the weekend or plan a trip or vacation. There we are talking about the foreseeable future, the future we are planning and have some control over, the future towards which we are working. With prior planning, common sense, some work, and a bit of luck, we can have a reasonable expectation that the future will be as we planned. It's within our reach and control. Most days, I live the future I planned, and the day or the week before, it was foreseeable. While we can plan and prepare for the foreseeable future, the unforeseeable future comes like a thief in the night. It takes us by surprise. It's completely unknown and unimaginable. We can't understand or make sense of it. We are at our wits' end, seemingly pushed beyond the limits of what is possible without power or control. We're not prepared for what is happening. How can you prepare for what you can't see, know, or understand? It's those times in our life when we say things like, "Not in my wildest dreams could I have imagined or guessed that, blah, 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 blah. No, that's not possible. It can't be. God only knows." I'm pretty sure every one of you knows what I'm talking about. I'm betting every one of you has felt the unforeseeable future pry open and forever change your life. Surely that's how Mary felt at Gabriel's announcement that she would give birth to the Son of God. She felt the impossibility of a future she never imagined. How can this be? Haven't you also asked that question? And let's not forget the context of today's gospel. Jesus and the disciples have just left the temple, the center of religious and civic life, when Jesus says, "Not one stone will be left upon another. All will be thrown down." It's something they never could have imagined. Hasn't there been a time when you felt the stones of your temple being thrown down? Unimaginable? Unforeseeable? Yes, but not impossible. The unforeseeable future always holds the possibility of impossible. The unforeseen future is, however, always unfolding, always calling us forward, always asking of us a response. So let's not be too quick to name or judge it as good or bad, joyful or sorrowful, desired or unwanted. We just don't know. We cannot name the impossible. To name or judge the impossible would be to revitalize it and close ourselves off from the advent of God. In Advent, the unforeseeable future comes to us as a chance for something new, for a new birth, for the expectation, the hope against hope, in a transforming future. Advent does not promise an escape from the circumstances of our lives or the world. The promise of Advent, the possibility of the impossible, is revealed and fulfilled in the midst of those circumstances. The foreseeable future falls within the scope of our power and possibilities. Things are manageable, and for the most part, we know what to do. In the unforeseeable future, however, there are no guarantees, no contrasts or warranties. There is a lot of risk. That's why Jesus says, "Be on guard that your hearts are not weighed down. Be alert at all times. Pray," he reminds us, "the impossible is the realm of faith, hope, and love." That's how we are to live when heaven and earth are passing away, when there is distress among the nations, and when the powers of heaven are shaken. That means we do not give up when the sands of our life are shifting under our feet. We do not give up when we come unhinged, when our ability is driven to its limits, when we are overwhelmed or exposed to something we cannot manage or foresee. We do not give up on ourselves or each other. I'm not talking about rosy optimism or determined perseverance. I'm talking about staying open to the possibilities of the impossible, to a future we could never imagine. I'm talking about the call of faith, hope, love, courage, compassion, beauty, forgiveness, healing. Aren't those the things that speak to your heart and tug at your soul? I don't know what the future holds for you, and neither do you. But I know this. Those things I just listed, faith, hope, love, courage, compassion, beauty, forgiveness, healing, are the voices of the Advent. They speak the possibility of a new life, a transformed life, and they call to us from the most improbable, unforeseen, and impossible places of our lives. They will pull you into and through the rest of this day. And when you wake up tomorrow morning, guess what? They will be there, waiting for you and calling your name. And all God's blessed people say, Amen. Have a wonderful beginning of Advent.